When did you miss an obvious hint that someone wanted to have sexual relations with you?
I was a lifeguard in high school. Had a girl ask me if I could teach her mouth-to-mouth sometime, and winked at me. I told her she should just sign up for a first aid course.
This is the best one by far. Something so obvious yet someone so oblivious. Bless you bro LMAO.
I was at a party and this cute girl kept on finding reasons to talk to me the whole night. I just thought, wow, she's so friendly, and never picked up on the flirting. Toward the end of the night it's just the two of us alone and we get on the subject of injuries and surgeries. Turns out we both had to have hernia surgery, which involves an incision near the groin. At this point she says, actually, you can still feel the scar, and takes my hand and puts it down her pants. I told her that I could not feel the scar, and her doctor must have done a good job. She removed my hand and just walked away. Didn't hit me until I was driving home an hour later. I just assumed she was overly friendly and comfortable with her body.
A lot of these are pretty bad, but most aren't. She literally stuck my hand down her pants bad. Kuddos.
You wanna do it? Ha ha. Sarah, don't tease me. Goes to bed.
This is objectively the worst one law. She straight up asked.
She was a co-worker and we have the type of relationship where we can say fed up poo and laugh about it. One time we were both on shift and I was about to leave. She asked what I was planning to do later. Me jokingly, probably go home and jerk off. Her in a softer voice, oh, did you need any help with that? Me, no thanks, I'm pretty good at it. At the time I really thought she was just playing into the conversation.
Bro gave a reason why he's good at it. Respect.
Was my partner in science and business classes in high school. Invited me to her family's cabin for a weekend. Just her and me. I asked about a friend and she said no, just the two of us. I never got back with her and kind of forgot about it until a couple years later when she pointed out the obvious. Oh yeah, then there was also the coworker that I was working alone with on Valentine's Day who had just finalized her divorce and how it was her first Valentine's Day alone in a long time. When she came back from lunch she gave me one of those giant Hershey kisses, and when I hugged her to thank her she kissed my neck. Then I smiled at her, apologized for not getting her anything, and got back to work.
She kissed your neck? Oof. She was super lonely and vulnerable. Good to just pass that by.
Posted before, but girl was running her hand through my hair telling me how soft it was and asking me how I did it. Proceeded to talk for like 5 minutes about TGE shampoo I was using till she cut me off to tell me she had been trying to flirt with me all night.
Well, at least she told you.
I mean, if I haven't realized it.
The only real answer.
A girl told me multiple times she thought of us like Eric and Donna from that 70s show. All my dumb teenage brain could think was, this is inaccurate, I don't smoke WD, never mind that Eric and Donna were effing for half of the show. At least, I think that's what she meant. Still not sure.
Better safe than sorry, brother.
I don't know if this was necessarily sexual, but it was definitely me missing an obvious sign. There was a very pretty girl that I was very interested in college. We had the same major, so shared a lot of classes. One day she and I are talking and she says, we should get together and study at my place. I can make dinner and everything. I replied with something like, oh, that'd be really nice and sounds like fun. Our class is small enough that we could probably invite everyone.
Ha 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 no. When did you realize your mistake?
Facebook memories about 6 years later. I saw some posts she had made in me wall about hoping I was having a good summer. Looking forward to seeing me. Missing see me in class etc. Suddenly, it was like the end of Ocean's 11 where everything was revealed to me in a series of flashbacks.
She asked me if we can continue to talk in my bed. So I just kept talking in the bed LMAO. At least she was good listening.
So close and yet so far.
In short, drunk me manages to ignore thrown underwear. People used to crash over at my place all the time. Last house before a long road to the next town. Girl asked to stay over, which was normal and fine. I was locking up the house while she went up to my room. She already laid down in my bed, which was unusual but fine by me. Normally I would take one of the 2 mattresses of my bed for people to sleep on. Now here comes the kicker. This girl, while laying under the covers, tosses her underwear into the room while saying she wanted them to stay clean for the next morning, and my drunk ass goes, yup, that makes sense, and proceeds to grab a pajama and hand it to her. Drunk me is not a very bright man.
I had a pair of panties thrown at me when I was being oblivious to the situation. Easiest way to get my head in the game though. Would definitely recommend that interest be declared by panty toss.
Once a girl I was acquainted with at the time sat on my lap at a party and stayed there for half an hour talking about her day and asking me questions. Then she left and my friends made fun of me for not picking up the advance. I thought she just couldn't find anywhere else to sit.
Oh, that's so pure.
At a James Bond theme party, girl says to me, "You could be my Goldfinger and I could be your P galore." Me, ha, good pun.
I am more into a lot of vagina. Looking back, we both laugh about it now. She and her sister went out with a group of us on a camping trip. I was up at 1 a.m. tending to the fire as I could not sleep when she stuck her head out of her tent and called me over. I entered her tent and she was naked in the doggy position looking for her phone and asked me to help her look for it. I ignored the fact she was naked, didn't really even look at her, and found her phone and handed it to her. She asked me to stay as, "I'm scared of the woods," and I flat out said, "Bull crap. You live in a cabin 8 miles into the woods. You're not scared. We are engaged now."
How did you get the hint she wanted to get engaged?
In high school I had $1 I was going to use for something food related. She snatched it and put it down her shirt and told me if I wanted it I would have to go get it. It was about 6 years later I recalled that moment and realized the missed opportunity.
So, I once had a gal who did that and I thought she was giving me the green light. She told me that was not okay. We talked about it, and she realized how I misread it, but it was definitely awkward.
I waited her out because I was understandably worried about sticking my hand down a girl's shirt in a crowded cafeteria, and that fear overrode hunger. Also, what was her justification for doing that without it being a green light? I'm genuinely curious because even as an adult it seems like you're either stealing or very obviously saying, "I'm okay with you reaching into my shirt."
This beautiful girl invited me over. She was trashed and heartbroken, and I just wanted her to be happy. She was a friend, you know. I think the height of that evening was, "I'm wearing matching underwear," to which I replied, "Geez, so organized." At night, she climbs into bed, and peeled the cover back. So, I picked up a stuffed animal on the floor thinking that's what she wanted. And I slept on the floor.
A real homie till the end. I'm sure she appreciated it later on.
I like to think more than, like, a romantic Mr. Magoo.
When I was about 18 I was sleeping over at the place of the girl I'd had a crush on for years. As I went to sleep on the couch she said, "You could sleep here in the bed if you want," her bed, that she was currently in. I honestly have no idea what actually happened inside my brain at that point, but no, the couch isn't so bad, is what it came up with.
Similar story, freshman year of college I had a huge crush on one of my dorm mates. Her room is right next to mine and we are also good buds. I walk into my room on Valentine's Day and there's a cute stuffed bear on my bed, and note from it, "Secret admirer." Grab the bear and walk into her room. "Hey, did you happen to see who put this in my room? Apparently I have a secret admirer?" She says, "That was me." Somehow it just does not compute for me that a woman that cool and hot could actually be interested, so I'm just like, "Wow, thanks, that was super thoughtful," and go about my day. Fast forward a few years when she is dating my best friend and explains to me over drinks what actually happened, which of course by then she thinks is hilarious. Cue me trying to swallow my own tongue.
Back in college, I was jokingly complaining to a good friend of mine that I never get any love letters on Valentine's Day. She said, "Well, I know someone who is in love with you." I demanded her to tell me who and she turned bright red and wouldn't say anything else. Later that semester, she asked me out for coffee so I agreed. We had a great time chatting about life and had a fun time, just like hanging out with any other friend. Weirdly, she stopped really speaking to me after that. There were many other encounters along those lines, but it took me about 3 years to realize that she had a huge crush on me and I was too much of an idiot to notice.
But the question is, did you have any feelings for her? Because if you didn't, then you were doing everything right as her friend. But if you did, then that's a big oof on your end.
I didn't, though. Honestly, I never thought about it at all. I was busy chasing after a girl who had no interest in me.
Came back from a dinner with some friends in my car, one of which was my friend's sister. She clearly points me out and asks what I'm doing after, and asks if I want to come hang out with her and have a couple drinks at her place. What do I say? No, that's okay, I'm going to go back and watch some Mulan. I wondered why everyone else in the car got really quiet after that.
She wanted to get down to business, but you refused the hun.
Not my story, but my buddy was once invited back to her place after the pub for coffee. When he got there, she said that she didn't actually have any coffee, so he apologized for misunderstanding and left. Edit. I've never seen Seinfeld, I'm in the UK. I wasn't making a reference, this actually happened. Edit. It was apparently ice cream she offered.
How many people don't know about the coffee line?
Went out for drinks with a former coworker to catch up. I'm pretty sure at some point she straight up asked, "Do you want to have sex?" But it was so loud out I just kinda stared back and said, "I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. The cars driving by are so effing loud." She said it again, and again I couldn't hear. So I literally stood up and leaned over the table and said, "One more time, please." She changed topics. Still had a fun evening.
That is definitely the sort of thing you'd want to be 100% sure they said before assuming, or just doing that chuckle and agree thing.
Yeah. I wanted to be 100% sure I wasn't hearing poo my brain thought it wanted to hear. I'll never know, but am fine with the safe route.
Told this one before, but when my dad was young he was sitting outside with a girl after a party. She asked him if he wanted to go back to his place and make pancakes. He told her he was out of eggs.
Well, he was in the position to bring some fresh eggs with him.
She slept over and said she didn't have anything to sleep in. I offered her sweatpants and a t-shirt and left the room.
I mean, this kinda just sounds like the nice thing to do.
In my early 20s, I went out with a woman who was a friend of a friend. The date went well, and at the end of the night, we were heavily making out on her sofa. She suddenly pulls back and says, "It's getting late, we should go to bed." I say, "Oh, okay. Well, I had fun tonight. Thanks for a great evening. I'd really like to get together again soon." As soon as I got home, I heard it. One word. It echoed in the hollowness of my skull and kept increasing in volume until all that was left in the world was my stupidity in that word. We. Edit. Thanks so much for the awards. I appreciate all the commiserate replies, and even the well-earned Fs. To answer the questions of if I ever saw her again, got clarification from her, yes. Yes, I did. I called the next day, asked her, am I overthinking it, or did I completely miss a signal? She laughed and confirmed that I was, indeed, an idiot. She said she was caught off guard by my abrupt departure and felt a little rejected at the time because she thought I just wasn't into it. She said she was down to get together again, so I did get another shot. Sadly, I whiffed again, but in a much more horrible and embarrassing way. Edit 2. We decided to get together early in the day with a group, have lunch and bar hop. After many hours of hanging out and drinking, we went back to her place. This time she led me to the bed. She was completely undressed and this was gonna happen. And then the heavy Mexican lunch and hours of drinking hit my bowels and said, "Yo, you gotta find a toilet right now." I went sprinting to her bathroom, which was just off her bedroom. This was gonna be violent and there was nothing to drown it out. So I turned on the shower and yelled, "I gotta take a shower first." She says, "Oh. K. Jesus Christ, it's even worse when I type this out. I finally finish putting out my soul and actually take a shower, because I didn't want to lie, and I come out and she's dressed and asleep, or faking sleep. I slept on the couch. Woke up the next morning, said I had fun and never saw her again.
Could have been the royal we.
An acquaintance dressed in a sexy outfit that normal people notice walks up to me and we start chatting. Her. What's your family background? Where are they from? Me. Czech Republic. Her. I've never been with a Czech guy. Locks eyes with me and says, I'd like to try that. Me. You should, we're awesome.
This was painful to read.
One of many, my friend.
Best friend in high school kept saying things about the girl I had a crush on. Asterisk, she's such a lucky girl. Asterisk, she's an idiot for ignoring you. Asterisk, she shouldn't lead you on like that. Asterisk, I'd totally suck you off at every chance if I was her. Asterisk, her loss. She was right, my crush was an idiot.
One of these things is not like the others.
In university, living in residence. Down in the first floor common area hanging out with friends. I'm giving a piggyback ride to a really cute girl. She, why don't you carry my up to my room? Me, guys aren't allowed on the girls' floor. I give her another ride around the common room instead.
I was drunkenly asleep on a mate's sofa after a party, then some naked girl climbs on top of me. I wake up and realize my bladder is about to explode, excuse myself and gently push her aside. When I come back, I mumble to myself, still half asleep, that sofa is way too small for 2 people. Then I go back to sleep on the other now empty sofa. My mate was quite amused telling me about it the next day. Virgin me was less amused.
I know this comes across as boring, but was anyone else actually concerned that a naked girl decided it was okay to jump on top of a drunk man who was sleeping on the couch? Not everyone is comfortable with that.
At the time I was still young and dumb, so didn't really faze me much, aside from the fact I missed an opportunity to get laid, even though I didn't even know who this person was. Hormones don't really do your rational brain any favors. Now as an adult, I get the same worry you do when I see similar situations.
After a night out at the pub. She, wanna come up for a coffee? Me, it's a bit late for coffee, I have to be able to wake up in the morning for work. I did not get what she was going at all. Another night out. She, wanna see my place and have a cup of tea? Now here I actually did go back to her place for a cup of tea. She showed off her sweet bathtub, and her bedroom, we had a cup of tea, and talked for a bit. And then it was getting really late, so I left. Another night out. She, damn, I missed the train. Could I sleep at your place? Me, yes OFC. So we went back to my place, changed the sheets in bed for her to sleep in. And I slept on the sofa. There's so many more. And probably way more, that I've just been too damn oblivious to see.
It's like your sperm has agoraphobia.
I went out to Vietnamese food for dinner with this girl I knew from school. Date was going great, flirting, teasing each other, that sort of thing. At one point, I jeered her a bit for being late, and she responds that she was showering. I jokingly say, oh come on, how long can that take? She goes, well, I like to be completely hairless and that takes time. That caught me pretty off guard, so I laughed it off in a sort of stunned amusement, thinking, why did she tell me that? Yay, I wonder why. Well, we keep talking and the date's still going great. Eventually we leave, and I walk her to her apartment. We arrive, at which point I'm thinking this is where we part ways. As we're finishing our conversation, she goes, oh so you can come up to my room to hang out, I'll just be studying. Here's where I do the usual guy thing. I think she's just being nice and say no. Besides, she's gonna be studying so I shouldn't disturb her anyway, so thinks my empty head. I think she mentioned it one more time, to really make future me wince, and I again decline. So we say goodbye and go on our merry ways. What really kills me now, maybe more so than what I just shared, is that I felt pretty self-satisfied as I was walking home. The whole walk back, I thought, that shaving line and her asking me up sure were pretty weird, but probably nothing. I feel great about this night. So yay, a girl told me she shaved her pee for me and I said, yay she's just being nice.
Ah, poor woman, all that wasted effort.
A guy had been touchy for the whole night, touching my legs, my back. We were all hungry and drunk at that time and my apartment was nearby. Everything was closed so he asked me to go to my place to get some food. My friend offered to accompany me but he said he could do it instead. I didn't pick up the signs. He kept on trying to get some time alone but I was too oblivious to realize.
I went to a concert with a friend and there was this really cute girl there who was definitely my type, like she stood out in the crowd to me. But she was there with 3 guys, so not likely I'd get a chance, even if I wanted to try talking to her. The headliner's set started and that girl walked up to stand next to me, without the guys, I think. She leaned over and made a joke, we talked a little and laughed, but I didn't want to force her to keep talking while the band she was there to see was playing. Then she talked to me more, we got along great and joked around a little, but I didn't want to obligate her to miss the band playing. Then she kept talking to me, and I kept reacting the same way out of politeness. Eventually she just walked away and I went, oh, god damn it, and mentally repeated, god damn it, for about 4 days straight.
Duty.
My husband was my friend of over 15 years before we started dating. He was super popular and hot in high school, where we met. I was super large and a few grades younger than him and he was in a relationship for like 10 years, so it was always just friends. I definitely didn't stand a chance. When we both moved to LA 7 years later and were both single, we hung out a lot and got closer. One night, we were drinking and it was late and he just tells me how awesome I am and plants a huge smacker on my lips. I suddenly revert to a 15-year-old with no self-esteem and think, there's no way he's into me. That must have been a friend kiss. A friend kiss? Like what is that? I scared him away for like 2 months where he thought I wasn't into him, but eventually he tried again and it clicked. He's my best dude and now my husband and the nicest person I know, and I'm so glad friend kisses don't really exist. The night I lost my virginity I turned down a threesome because I thought they were kidding.
But you lost your virginity. Insert Hulk, I see this as an absolute win meme here.
She said she wants to F you. Really? Yeah, and this is the second time she said it. And when she said it this time she asked if I had been telling you what she was saying. When I said no she asked me to make sure that I did. Haha, she's so cookie. We did eventually end up dating, but JFC am I slow. Edit. Special thanks to my long-lost sister, you, _OK for the award. I'm sure the family reunions I don't attend will be so much brighter now that you've found the rest of the OK family.
The other day I heard someone say, a girl who puts the bottom of her chin against your chest is absolutely willing to F you. I was brought back to high school, where this girl Candace did that to me. I remember I said something funny, and in a fit of laughter she collapsed into me like that. I thought back some more about another weird encounter with her. A short time after, she'd be sitting at my table at lunch, next to my friend Brittany. My friend Brittany tells me very deliberately that she thinks I should get laid. That I need it. She looks all around the lunchroom, going, Then she points at Candace and goes, you should F Candace. Candace looks at me, smiling but worried. Smiling and worried. I immediately thought she was hoping I wouldn't want to and smiling because she didn't want me to see the dread. I'm like, I'm so tall and she's so short, I'd break her. She immediately looked sad after, and my assumption was that she was hoping I wouldn't notice how disgusted she seemed by the idea, and that she noticed me covering for her. I was uncomfortable for her, just cause Brittany shouldn't have done that without provocation. Hey Dipu, she provoked your friend Brittany, the horrible actress, to wingman for her. Nobody lands softly on your chest and looks up into your eyes because you're funny. She wanted you to break her.
Who's Candace? Fades to black and white.
After a long date car ride, I took her home and she asked if I wanted to see her apartment. She had a cool attic space she lived in, reached by ladders and stairs up to the townhouse's roof. She gave me the 30-second tour and I honestly thought it was so cool. After we sat on her bed for a few minutes and the awkward silence started to fill the room, I finally took the hint. It was late and she was hoping I'd leave soon, so I saw myself out before I'd inconvenience her. It wasn't until several years later that I replayed the date in my mind and realized how oblivious I was.
They told me they wanted me to F them and I replied, lol.
Like you said the actual word, lol, to them?
Yeah.
I was a very dense young man, always erred on the side of too much caution. Girl put her hand on my leg and said, haha you're so funny, after a week of back and forth flirting on holiday. Girl invited me over to her place she just moved into, said there's no bed but there's a couch for us. Leaving a club, girl I never spoke to grabbed my arm, asked me to take her to a cab. Because I believed it was slippery, I, being a gentleman, dutifully brought her to a cab, wished her a wonderful night and closed the door. She looked at me with puppy dog eyes as the cab drove off. Turned around and my group of 4 were, looking at me like this. Link was youngster at camp, 12 to 13. Girl who was close to me all week kept asking me who I liked, hint, her. Definitely could have gotten my first kiss. I'm sure there's more, this is off the top of my head. Luckily these are not wasted experiences as they are lessons learned, and thanks to them I had a wonderful and active dating life before happily settling down.
Probably dodged a bullet with the girl at the club TBH.
My friend had a crush on a girl at university. At his house party, she made it pretty apparent she had an interest in him too. When we all left for the night, she stayed with him because she didn't know where her keys were. So the group left them for the night and caught up in the morning. After we left, he found her keys for her and offered to get her a taxi home. When she said she was too tired to get home, he helped her get into his bed. She took off her dress, he covered her with the blanket and went to sleep on the sofa. He thought he was being respectful. I think she has mental trauma from the rejection.
I mean, that is the right thing to do.
Never.
The ambiguity of this post made me smirk.
Oh God. There is one moment in my life like that when I realized it years later I could feel my soul escape. Years ago, me and my F***1 friend were going clubbing with her coworker, F***, which I thought is so out of my league. People out of my league were out of her league, and the plan was to stay over at F***'s place. During the night, the friend I was there with originally ditched us, so in the end it was just me and F*** that went to her place. I won't be getting into details, but through the day and night, I missed the following hints. When we were getting ready, she tried like 5 different outfits, asking me which I like the most, which makes her look sexiest. She pretended to lap dance for me as a warm-up before we go clubbing. She stuck with me through the evening too, and, once we got to her place after party, she decided to drop some stronger hints, which I still missed, because I was a blind idiot I guess. She went to take a shower to freshen up after partying. She walked out of her bathroom completely naked, walked through the room I was in. It was one large room with 2 beds, to get to the dresser on the other side, grabbed a towel and walked back to bathroom without covering anything. After that, when we were already laying in beds, she was asking me if the bed I'm in is comfortable enough, if it's not too cold, and if I want I can come to her bed, it's warmer, nicer, etc. And none of those hints hit me until few years later, when I was reading a thread here about missed hints.
You may be an actual idiot. Did you get tested?
I was an actual idiot, hopefully I got better. In my defense, it was close to 10 years ago, I was very insecure about. Well, everything really, and I did mention I thought she was so far out of my league it wasn't even funny. I think I would notice those hints today, especially the latter ones.
Girl in college wanted to watch a movie. I ended up watching the whole movie. I got the last laugh though as I found out she was pregnant a couple months later. A friend's hot sister and I had been chatting continually for a few weeks. After a rave we were all hanging out at her parents' place waiting for the impending doom of daylight to crack through the windows. When she says, "I can't get comfortable here, I'm going to lie in my bed." I was like, "Yep, CYA." A week later she told me over MSN chat she lay in her bed for an hour just waiting for me to walk in. I never did.
That wasn't an obvious hint. You did well.
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.